And your own involvement in this was to provide ICT support to the Truth Commission. Describe what that work involved.
So we collaborated with the Truth Commission in really anything they did that had to do with the internet, with new media, with video. So that was everything from a complete redesign of their website. They had an initial kind of clumsy website when we began the collaboration. We worked with them using participatory and collaborative design approaches, focus groups, and cognitive walkthroughs with what we thought would be the end users of the site, mostly Liberians in the diaspora and elite Liberians, because the realities of internet access in Liberia are that those are the only communities that actually, certainly at the time, were on the net. And we developed a new website that had some, we think, kind of brand new and novel functionality and design.
Which included?
Well, one thing is it was very process-focused, and this is a design aspect that when we compare to other Truth Commission websites, it seems obvious, but it actually is rarely put into place. Most websites are organizationally focused. So you go to a Truth Commission website, and its organization echoes the institutional hierarchies of the commission itself. So we have meet the commissioners, and then you have our investigation unit, and here is our hearing and public events unit.
But yours was focused on the evidence that people
the process of reconciliation, from sharing, healing, and processes of reconciliation. So you could actually move through the TRC process itself within the website and go through these activities of sharing the truth, of justice short of retribution, and so forth.
And you recorded the tribunal, the Truth Commission hearings.
So the most popular part of the website was we recorded and host to this day all of the videos from the public hearings, and they had hundreds of these public hearings. We have hundreds of hours of public hearings from across the country, and even in the United States and Ghana they held diaspora hearings. And so we host those hearings. You can see everyone from President Sirleaf giving an in-camera hearing testimony to some of the famous sort of...
including General Butt Naked.
General Butt Naked, including Prince Johnson, who's currently a senator and was very famous during the civil conflict. So we have a lot of these hearings which are available for
And how many people have viewed some of those?
So the sort of most popular ones, which actually the Prince Johnson hearing video is the most popular of a belligerent actor's video, has about 10,000 downloads.
And you were saying to me last night that you had set up video booths where people could go and record evidence.
So the website, as I mentioned, really was focused on the diaspora and elite individuals just because of internet access, but also because to use a website you really require print literacy, right? You need to be able to read the site and navigate through the materials, and most of the materials outside of the video areas were text heavy. That means 90% of Liberians, 95% of Liberians really would not have access to the content. So we collaborated with the Truth Commission to develop an interactive video story sharing system that allowed people without computer literacy, without print literacy, to walk up to this video sharing kiosk. They were welcomed by an embodied conversational agent. His name was Moses. We spent a lot of time designing Moses. What did he look like? How did he sound? What type of Liberian English did he use? And he then would help the users with both sharing a story and viewing stories, and users could browse amongst topics. So they could look at things related to the Truth Commission, they could examine things about other aspects of the conflict, or they could tell a joke, or they could talk about their favorite football team. You know, it was pretty broad as far as what people wanted to
And was this
their
fairly
story.
popular as an activity?
It was extremely popular. We moved it around most of the country. Tens of thousands of Liberians use it. We have a corpus of over 1,000 video stories we have available now of just any, many Liberians telling whatever they want to tell about. Many of them are very powerful narratives of their experiences during the conflict, but again, sometimes they're rapping a song or telling a joke. It's quite a rich mixture.
What relevance do you think this work has to other countries that are in stress, been through civil war, come out of it? How can it be used in those contexts?
I think we have rigorously established one basic finding from this set of sort of collaborations and research activities, and that is that rich, interactive digital media have are important tools in processes of post-conflict reconciliation and healing. So I think we've established that quite strongly.
And particularly where literacy levels are low.
And in areas where literacy levels are low, you can still get the same effects if you design the systems appropriately. So we've established that this suite of technology tools play an important role in conflict-stressed environments. And that therefore, any conflict-stressed environment and post-conflict community should turn to these tools and get the benefits of their important value. That's one. Two is that design really matters, and this goes to your point, which is that, it's not just that they're conflict stressed, but they might also be an area where a majority is print illiterate, for instance. Design really matters, whether it's the website where we designed a process-focused context, or it's the kiosk where we designed a cartoon character to guide people who had never used a computer before and who didn't have print literacy through video sharing. That all those design processes, down to the minutiae, truly matter. And I'll give you one example of how down to the little minutiae, small things, what can make a difference. So I mentioned Moses, who's the cartoon character on the kiosk that guides people through the browsing and sharing of their video stories. And we initially had Moses with a very modest cornrow haircut. Very modest. I thought kind of fashionable. I thought Moses looked good. And we tested that initially with some diaspora Liberians near Georgia Tech, and it seemed to play okay. But then when we did our field tests before we deployed the system, people responded very negatively to that haircut. They felt that it represented somebody who was somebody who was in the conflict, because during the conflict, many of the fighters famously had eccentric hairdos or wore wigs. So we quickly gave Moses a haircut. And he has this very modest, low fade now. And, that solved that problem. But, the last thing you would want is essentially the MC of your truth-telling and video sharing system to look like a combatant.
Yes.
So it's down to that level of design, and it requires an attention to user interface and usability and use style and the processes of human-computer interaction to be able to reveal those design details, I think, to have a really rich system. So that's another finding, I think.
Mike, thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you.